All right, guys, we're back. Thank you for joining us another week on Floodlights. You don't know anything set, where we discuss the football issues, what's going on behind the scenes, off the pitch. And we're joined by our resident panelist as usual. You don't know Warlock, as usual, the general. You don't know, and Al Tony, you know. Reggae boy for the day, reggae boy for the day, reggae boy for the day.
Represent.
Warlock as usual look like Warlock jersey collection and Jigro. Say Puma soon start sponsoring general and have the sponsors soon.
Yeah, man.
Yo,
Soon see me Zigo behind them. I buy one of the. I put up a Zigo,
Alright.
three little birds on there.
all right, I actually think there, Hey, all right, before we even go into that, let's go and start the show off. As per usual with our rousing topics. So first up, guys, what do you think about Manchester United's new manager? It's a good segue where you see Zigo and your three little birds. What do you think about Manchester United's new appointment? Do you think Ten Hag has what it takes? What kind of a name is that? For that is Dutch. Or will he be destined for failure like those that have come before him? I'll let you go first, Warlock.
Well, again, it's good to be back on the show. It's good to be back with you guys discussing these topics. But as it relates to Ten Hag, well, if he's going to be a failure, I mean, if history is to inform us, it don't look good. But I am hoping that it's not a failure for obvious reasons. Man U fan and all, and being tired of the continuous roller coaster of managers. We need a manager that is going to come and settle the club. Personally, I think he should be given the time. I hope this board don't try to push things too fast, because I think we definitely need to do a rebuild this time around. I know that we have been rebuilding for years now.
But don't build yet.
Yeah, exactly, and I know we can rebuild. So I'm hoping that he's successful. I'm hoping that he gets the time to be successful. I'm hoping that the first thing on his agenda is to come and settle the club, and then move into. And part of settling the club is developing a new philosophy, because yes, we had a philosophy before, but this is a new coach with new ideas and so on. So I hope that he's coming to put in his own philosophy from a tactical perspective, and then get the players that he needs to execute that philosophy. So that's where I'm at. I'm not sure. I'm not ready to make any predictions about this, because we know that has gone in the past.
Fair enough. Anthony, what do you have to say about Ten Hag?
And here comes the dump.
Thanks again for having me, guys. Personally, I hope it's a colossal failure. I hope you guys continue to struggle.
All right, we're going to move on. Where you going to say colossal failure? I didn't ask you what you hope. I asked you what do you think.
I mean, it looks promising so far. In terms of the fact that they start get rid of certain back office people, which a lot of Man U fans have lamented that was a part of the issue. With the club is not just the manager.
Is Ten Hag responsible for that, or?
I mean, it's a logical leap, I believe, because the person's been there with the club for umpteen years now, and as they're getting a new coach, and that happened. And from what he said, that he might look for about 10 new players, so it means that the whole squad might try to ship out. So it would only make sense that the scouts that got these players in, clearly him not trust them judgment. So I mean, it would only make sense. I could be wrong, but the dominoes them kind of line up that way in that direction there. The coaches are gonna need more control, for lack of a better term, because as you guys always say as well, that you don't believe the coaches get the players or get an opportunity to get the players that they actually want, or for us working with them have. And clearly these players are not good enough. So if everything works out in that regard, getting players out and new players in that you want, and this coach is given the time, as Chris said, it's logical to think that you guys will be doing at least a little better than you're doing now. But as I said, personally, I couldn't care less. I would really prefer that you guys stay where you are. This cycle of hope and despair. Cycle of hope and despair is fun at times. Sometimes you get a little bit depressing when me hear on talk and it just sound like lack of hope and everything. I like when you guys have hope and it's snatched from you. I like that. That's more satisfying for me.
All right.
I mean, I think as rivals, it's fair because what happened to Barcelona today, I hope that happens in the next 10 games. So I just wanted to, because I noticed that there was no Barcelona topic on there, so I just wanted to kind of throw that in a little.
I'm sure we'll always find a way. We'll always find a way to get Barcelona.
Let's just put a pin in that right now, because I'm gonna be honest. I'm waiting. Mr. Mego give 1 more week before me put a topic in there. I'm gonna hashtag. So now wait 1 more week, since, and then you can probably guess what that topic's gonna be, especially if you watch the last 2 episodes. But moving on. So, but real quick for me, I don't have an expectation. I know he's a good coach, but that's me can't just go off of him on one good coach and things look like it a move. But as Tony say, the feelings recently of the hope and then it being snatched away, it's a bit traumatizing. So it leave me in a state of like perpetual tentativeness as it pertains to any progress that I see being made, and it will stay as that. And I won't want to talk about this anymore, please. So I hope things, as Tony oppositely said, I hope though that we do well and he gets time, as Chris said. Other than that, can't speak for much.
Because losing to Arsenal was devastating. I can't remember last time.
All right, listen. You never devastated today. Don't bother with it. Right.
No, I was otherwise distracted.
Let's keep on track. So one of my topics that I especially want to hear your guys take on, and Tony seems to already have an issue, is Bundesliga, German Premier League. Technically, is it a league anymore? Is it competitive? Does it make any sense other than to fill German fans' football thirst, with local content? Is there any competition, anything worthwhile in terms of wonder or anything about that? What we love about the game, is that left in the league, or am I mistaken? Am I looking at it like dry? Because Bayern have won 10 leagues straight. And before I'll let you guys in, I want to put it in context. Since about 1995, 92, no, I lie, about 92, fact check me if I'm wrong, but Dortmund, the next best team in Germany for years now, was going through what I'm calling administration. I was almost going to go, it's like our club being bankrupt and basically dissolving its assets or whatever. And Bayern Munich helped them, to spring some money for them and make them, can save them from obscurity, I guess, right? Ever since then, apparently, I don't know if this is some back office deal or it was in the paperwork, People have said it's in the paperwork. I've never seen the actual document, but I don't know. But people surmise that it's been like written that they get first pick of any new players that come, transfers, their best players and whatever. If them supposed to welcome, Dortmund should be inclined to sell them first, and then any other big club after that and such. I don't think it's written in any paperwork or so. I just think it's like this gentleman thing. Like he saved us. Anytime when come knocking, we
Now first dibs.
who not first dibs. Isn't it? It's just a gentle kind of save me. Now, having said that they are the second best team in the league for years, how is it fair? How can you even call the league competitive? The second best team, their best players are always inclined to go to Bayern once they reach a level where they're of world-class caliber or seemingly world-class caliber. Them have to move God Bayern. But they're left with good enough players to beat other teams and keep them down third and below. And left just good enough to compete and make Germany have like a little say in a Champions League sometime and have a little excitement. But Bayern always have all the cards. It doesn't seem fair, like just for context. So it's not just them win most of the leagues in the last 2-3 decades in the competition, but they seem to have some sort of stranglehold on the transfer infrastructure there as well. All the new talents. And I'm just saying, like, with all of these things that we know as fact, even if it's not right in a document, we have seen it over the years. All of Dortmund best ball of them go to Bayern. All of the best ball of them in other German teams usually end up going to Bayern anyway also. Is it fair? Does it make the league any less of a league?
All right. Well, to
Hold on,
speaking,
Tony. Oh, all right. Go Tony, go on Tony, and make Chris come.
yeah, starting from the last point you made about players going to the league, with the exception of Dortmund, it's just what happens in leagues. The best players, small players, players from the small clubs will go to the big teams.
Not usually just one. They're usually at least probably.
No, man, I'm saying it's not separate and apart from Dortmund. Because Dortmund, that's clearly some type of special case. But with the exception of that one, that's not strange for players from smaller clubs to go to the biggest club in the league, right? That's one. Two, if it's a league, I don't subscribe to the idea that if the same team or teams keep winning a particular league, it's no longer competitive. But competitiveness is not just about who's winning the league. It's about the teams below, how they're performing against each other or they're performing against the top teams. Because there's not just two teams that are the winners and second place are top four in any league. The league, you can lose to your top four and still win the league. You get me? I say? So it's about the entire competitiveness of the entire league. How the teams below the top four are competing against each other. What's the gap there? What's the gap between the top four and the rest of the league? And just general competitiveness in terms of how the games look. Because we caught up on score sheets.
Point of information, Anthony. I would argue that even if you're looking at that metric, Bayern probably has the largest gap.
In terms of what?
Like competitive, you said the gap between the lower teams and
no, I'm saying that's just one aspect. I'm saying get rid of the top two or top four teams. If you look at the league from the other teams below, those games are very competitive when I watch them. I used to watch them a lot when Liam Bale was at Bayer Leverkusen. And the matches, you couldn't guarantee who will go win on any given Sunday or Saturday. So the overall as a league, I still believe it's still competitive. It's just that they're dominating. And I don't remember this conversation happening in the Italian league when Juventus dominated for years.
It was, but
all of them get charged for some legal thing and get demoted, come back up, win the league, and continue to win the league. I don't remember people really saying
it was. There was a whole thing about how Italian league is no longer competitive and is a dirt league, like it's starting to become a dirt league like French league. And it was a discussion. Even if you never hear it, I'm sorry you didn't. I do recall.
Well, if that's the case, then a one league existing.
But Premier League?
Yeah, I don't think that existing.
No, but
Because in France, a PSG, Germany, Italy, Spain, Barca, something there, and Madrid. So I guess Italy, England alone left for the top 5. Chris?
good point, Chris.
Well, I kind of think it's a rubbish question to like Tony, because I think that there is still a league in Germany. However, I do agree that it's not a very competitive league, and I'll tell you why. And I know that Tony broke down smaller clubs and so on. But before I even get to that, let me just say this. I think the French league is even more competitive than the Bundesliga right now, because even though Tony just said that in France it's PSG, no, it's not really, because last season PSG didn't win the league. The PSG won before that. PSG probably won 3 or 4 titles. As a matter of fact, I'm sure it's not 3 or it's not 4. I don't remember if it's 3. Then probably win 3. But within that, then Monaco had won, because remember Monaco won the league. So
that man did my year too.
Which that man win in a 2011, Tony. 2011.
Hold on, Mike. Let me just. This is why I think it's not a competitive league, Tony. Bayern Munich has won the league 31 times. You know the closest to them, who the closest to them is?
Oh.
Borussia Dortmund.
How much?
You know how much time they win it? 8 times.
Okay.
So that is, the gap is too wide in terms of other teams winning the league. And there are no, as I said, Dortmund is the closest to them. And the next thing again, when you say there are lower teams, there's competition happening in the lower tier of the league. I agree with that. There's competition happening in every league where that is concerned.
Right.
And that is good, because the truth is, if I'm a local youth, I am going to root for my club.
Right.
See? And that is enough to make it, that's what makes it still a league, in my view. Right. However, these teams are not winning anything and not even close to the competition at the top of the league. You know what I'm saying? And so winning the league where you as a local youth feeling the sense of competition, your competition is kind of to nowhere, because it's like, I'm not sure that it's programmed in their minds, but
Tony,
that's the line I'm going.
Check when last another team won the German Cup.
No, I don't remember what I was looking at, the similar stat like what Chris bring up a while ago. Juventus win 36 titles. Next closest to them are Inter Milan with 19.
That's still
which is way closer.
I'm saying comparatively, comparatively, it's way closer. Better. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not.
No, mathematically, 19 out of.
No, that's what I'm saying. When you're comparing it versus the Bundesliga, it is not. But I'm saying if you compare it to the other leagues, right, it is still a big gap.
Well, let me also say this. There have been times, like in the last couple of years, when I would say that the Italian league is not competitive either, in terms of what I just explained. Yes, we see the competition happening below all of that.
I would disagree, Chris. I would disagree. You know why? Because we have to also consider the cup competitions. Because to your point, because if you say I'm a mid-table team, right? You say I'm a mid-table team, you probably not go in the league, but you want to have a sense of competition, like you're competing other than relegation. I would argue that in Italian cups recently, not for years, from me I watch football.
Different people have won the cups.
Napoli, Lazio,
yeah.
And you can roll the dice for Italian cup. Same thing sometimes with La Liga, with Copa del Rey and something. Sometimes, even if the league is a 3-horse race most of the time, the cup sometimes you can get somebody else, like a fourth man, who we can snatch the cup. You know what I mean? Whether we on Germany, it lock up. Key. And
I think there's no argument that the German league, to me, it is the worst league of the top 5. To me, it has become the worst league of the top 5, in my opinion. And it, in terms of competition, the only indictment on the other leagues as it relates to the German league is that from time to time, their one club make every other league the top of every other league look like what you're not doing. You see what I'm saying? And so I think there's some redemption there where that is concerned.
I would not say that. You know why you can't say that, Chris? No, before you put Chris on his back, how much Champions League out of last 10 Bayern win? No bother with it. But
let's
because those are the times when them play.
That's a club competition.
Those are the other times when them play teams in other leagues. What Chris?
No, but Mike, that is shared. But that has been shared. It's not like anyone. Yes, the only team. Well, the only team that can claim runaway status as it relates to the Champions League over the last 10 years is Real Madrid.
Exactly.
So everybody else, they have won it. They have won it. They have just a second. Well, on the mic. They have won it just as many times as any other league, not any other team not named Real Madrid.
Fine.
I would say.
Yes, so there's no redemption. Because you just
What he's saying is you can't just, that's the issue I have. You can't just use a club's greatness or the whole well they perform to whether they win the Champions League or not. It doesn't mean they're not playing well. The cup competition, anything can happen.
That's true.
One injury here, there, a bad call here, there, anything can happen and you lose, even though you're performing very well throughout the season or you're the best team in Europe. You can still lose a one-off game and you're out, or a goal back then when you use away goal rule.
Fine.
Stuff like that. Anything can happen when you lose a drop out. It doesn't mean that you weren't performing all season throughout Europe or looking like you're a better team than them. And that's what I'm saying. It speaks, as I said, I don't use competitiveness, only the fact of who wins the league. Because the fact that if you're not paying nobody in your league, your quality will diminish. You can't. I've never seen a team playing nobody in their league and then them come and dominate in Europe. If you look on the Scottish league or where Rangers them play, them dominate that league there, but when them come to Europe, they're not ready because I believe that speaks to the quality of the league itself. That is what I think. But if you can dominate your league and come to Europe, come put up a good showing, it means that
you're
facing competition. You're just better than the competition.
It's kind of
Bayern still, you know. Me not Bayern, but me not give them no praise because the little style when them use to control the league. It's not like you just say, as Tony said, like a Juventus, where we look on it and we look say, boy, you know, hierarchy and ratings and how them acquire ball and this and that and Ray. Even when them did get relegated, then come right back up, this and that to the top, right? And them share that type of.
Not worse to me.
Well, we're not talking about the fact say you did not match fixing or whatever, because that is inexcusable. We're not trying to make them feel like we forget about that. But we just say, unless I make them start win back too. No, we don't know. I don't know what's going on in the team. But we just say, it's not like we know of that second team and the rest of the league is behind that second team and Juventus keeper use that second team for foster all of them biggest teams them. Are most of the sides, them when they have are one of the biggest ball them out of the inside or so. And I'll take the ball in from that side there every year and then use that side there again for like, you know, try for
like a feeder club. Like a feeder club.
It's a feeder
look,
club. I don't they have that same system set up.
I don't think that is something that I as a fan is going to worry about.
I think that's one of the reasons.
But Mike, I think that is up to the club. That is up to the club who is playing the feeder role. What is their benefit from them playing a feeder role?
Because them can't do nothing like a Dortmund.
Why? What you mean? Why Dortmund have to sell? Unless I'm not understanding that, because I probably don't
understand the context of the whole.
I probably don't.
Well, when you pull up back, you can look on the details or the exact
So
details.
are you saying that they have to sell to Bayern?
It seems that, Chris, look on
it
the.
seems that way. Don't say
Chris,
that is
Chris,
what
all right, hold on,
it
Chris.
is.
I don't, like I said from the beginning, I have not seen these documents, right?
Okay.
So we know for a fact that the man then bailed them out, right? We don't know whatever signed behind the scenes. However, every single year, every time the man have a star baller, he ends up already pre-signing some whatever.
Well, Alan ain't going to
Sometimes when
Bayern.
I say the baller also has a way to call it now.
I say in the matter.
I say in the matter, but in our German team, especially for German players, and more players will have like a certain relationship with, like, if they play long in the league and everything there. And more times than not, they ain't got Bayern. So
that is, yeah, I understand that. But that I am saying that I don't know if we can blame
Bayern.
We can blame Bayern or even Dortmund. Dortmund must know what benefit they get from doing that and continuing to do that. Look, the question you asked is if we think that it's still a league. I think it's still a league for some of the reasons that was mentioned. Anthony mentioned a very good point where he talk about competition happening below the top clubs in the league. And I think that is enough to make it a league, because, and then you say, and I think your comment was to give local fan. Look, that is the essence of having local football in a country, at a high level. And trust me, fans, because look, I think we can't underestimate the importance of the fan and how the fan feel about a club. We have seen it throughout watching football and seeing the reaction to clubs from fans, and so we can't belittle that. So it's a league. It's definitely a league. I mean, if you are going to say that there's no league happening in Germany, then Altony raised the point about the Scottish Premier League. Then you could say that there's no league happening in Scotland, which is not true, because we can tell you, say, Hearts fans are real fans who feel strongly about them club.
That's true.
So
Hearts are real fans for real.
Yeah, and they haven't sold a player there in a while. There are some rumors that they will no longer be selling players there. So, are the top players there? So let's see how that works.
The contract look like the contract broke now. Then
that is cynicism, Mike. I think that is cynicism.
Listen, Dortmund are my second team, and I'm Man U, so I hope that this cycle is now broken and it will also benefit the rest of the league and stop make it be like this pyramid thing. Because German league come like a pyramid scheme to me.
It does.
It look like a pyramid scheme. So and I was told, like, these fans now go sell out, and German football clubs are some of the most fan integrated clubs in a.
That's true.
And I say it's not true, but for then your league look like a pyramid scheme for the biggest team in the league for commercialism, and for them it don't look good. It don't look good, like, but let's hope, as you say, rumors come out, say, they're no longer. Me happy hearing that. You don't know anything, sir. But you don't know anything, we have to pay some bills. So we're gonna take a quick break and join us back on the flip side. You don't know anything, sir. Floodlights.
Persons that can
tenement yard living where we are run from.
Yeah.
And we're back live in living color. So let's move on to a similar topic. Italian league. What do you guys think? It's been competitive this year. Tony made a point earlier when we were hashing out Bundesliga's apostrophe after this competitiveness. And he said something to the tune of, teams below them and the games in between the teams below them and also the teams up top and so on, right? That seems to be the case for a while in Italy. As well, if you look at who's leading and who's competing, I think it's like a 3-horse race at this point. Almost a 4-horse race if Juventus could have just win 2-3 matches straight. But you don't know a thing set. Do you think this competitiveness correlates to the quality of the league, given its recent shortcomings in the Champions League, other than Juventus' final appearance in 2019? What do you think?
He doesn't say
Let
difficult to say.
Warlock start, Tony. Sorry, God.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
Should have told you. Sorry.
No, whenever you want to admit it, you jump in.
Sorry.
Well, as it relates to competitiveness of the Italian league, I think it has been competitive over the last 3 seasons. It was heating up. I think the last 3 seasons, Juventus won the league by 9 points or something like that.
Roughly.
And Napoli they were in a heated battle with Napoli. Remember that season? I think that was 3 seasons ago. And then last season it was competitive, and this season is definitely competitive. I think this bodes well for Italian league. I think it needed this. In terms of what it says for the quality of Italian football, I think it's still a far way off from La Liga and definitely the Premier League. Look, I know we dump on the French league a lot, but I'll tell you, the French league has a whole lot of quality developing through it.
I agree.
It has a whole lot of quality. And I think all these players, people talk about Neymar, and I can tell you that all these players that have gone to the French league over the last 3-4 seasons have really shone a spotlight on the French league, and they have stepped up to the plate. And I'll tell you, these defenders not giving these powers no little cakewalk, and so I think the point I'm making there is that I think the Italian league needs to step up in terms of the quality of the product that they are giving. Because you watch some Italian league and I'll tell you, it is dreary. Some matches and it's dreary. It is, even when it's you might say a head-to-head where you have,
Can I just say, Chris, I've always remembered growing up watching Italian league, especially like on ESPN, and I just felt different. As I used to set a different camera than I use, and the commentator them different. I threw a ESPN commentator them, and them I use one different camera.
We were having the same discussion this week about how La Liga looks versus our Premier League looks.
Yeah.
Bro, I don't know what the product, if them turn the color, the vibrance.
No. La Liga is out of this world when it comes to
the technology where them use. But may I say,
yes.
even what English league, may I forgive. I don't know. There's something about watching an English Premier League match. I don't know if them at the saturation
we can tell you
just look more excited, just looking at
the
more vibrant.
Me can tell if it's true at the camera, because them have more cameras set up, and them have like some camera will run like at
Right,
some
plus-
breakneck
Yeah,
speed
yeah.
and
Plus, I
run.
believe also that the stadium is closer to the pitch. A
Yes,
lot of English clubs. So I think that you kind of get the sense or the atmosphere a little bit more
probably.
because of that. And this Italian them and the Spanish league, I think that it's a little bit more removed. A certain because when I watch this, I forgot the name of the club in Spain that them now have one behind one of the goal them, that's one wall. It is a very small, intimate. Anytime I watch match this, you feel the energy different. Like you feel energy from the crowd.
We
So I
don't
don't know
care.
if that's really for the production or but really and truly,
I
sometimes
think-
Italian match look like you look dreary the perfect word.
Yeah,
Just
man. Yeah, man. It looks
hard
really
watch.
dreary.
I know it's
It
the
looks,
camera.
it look.
Front
And Mike
camera.
mentioned the commentators. I think the commentators are don't add any elements to it, and I don't think. And the thing I think back in the day when we used to watch Italian league in the 90s, because I used to watch Italian leagues 88. I remember this 88 to 90. Because look, my favorite World Cup was the 1990 World Cup, and I'll tell you, it's like we started getting Italian league from like 1988, and I'll tell you, it was like a build up to the World Cup, and it was so exciting. But I'll tell you now, right now, there's a whole lot that needs to happen in Italy to make the football much more attractive.
I think they have less camera angles. First of all,
I think they do. They
they
definitely
don't use as many cameras as the other leagues them for whatever reason. I don't know, but they don't. They kind of stick to like probably 3, 4, or 5 of them like pitch cameras. You know, like when I see them make a lot. And as I said, the commentators when I grew up, I don't know if of them said one. I can't them said man, they are commentating still for ESPN, but whoever they were. Peter Drew, I don't know what, I don't remember who, but anybody with them did name, them, okay, and it's 30.
No, but you know,
ugly. Oh,
but you
and
know,
it's a
but you
goal.
know,
I
but you
see
know-
when them say goal, and it's a goal.
exactly. It's like them never expect it. But look, you know that they get really good commentators, you know, because Stuart from ESPN FC, Dan from ESPN FC commentates down there a lot. When name Stuart something like that. I don't remember his last name. And Dan the one that's always talking about percentage. I don't remember his last name either. They commentate on Italian matches. And look, trust me. But then it's not them, you know, when you watch a match with them, you know, because they probably only commentate on Juventus or Atalanta. But when you watch it otherwise, when them not commentating, it is very bad, brother. And I think, like I said, some money needs to spend on Italy so that them can get some more technology.
No about money part still.
Yeah, for me, well, just touching on that quickly. For real, at least Mr. Ladi got try in terms of the production. They ever adopt new technology for try at least get some excitement and thing with some. We can get them that, even though them probably not reach the same production levels as England. But for Italy itself, I think Chris kind of covered all the points. I mean, I think him left done for me. Them need the quality of the football does not look as exciting, as entertaining as some other league. And French league has really stepped up for real since Neymar and Messi get them start watching. Man, I tell you, even I think the other day them interview, my man say, "Oh, him never knows how the league is physical." Man, them a boss tackle for real. Yep. If bag of African bar, them a bring in, them a boss.
Yes, that's a thing.
Boss lace there, but yeah, Italy is fun to watch at like 1.5 matches, the derby matches, and so you know the man they hate them one with a passion. But outside of the match, it's kind of difficult for watch enough time.
All right, immigration in football is another topic that we need to touch one day. I know there are a lot of people that say the reason why France won that World Cup is because of immigration and the refugee situation that, you know, France and Africa and other British countries, but most of
really
have. Yeah, people
look. That is
people
Mike. People are talking what they don't know. Paul Pogba was born in France.
We know.
Conte?
I guess I said immigrant parents.
Yes.
So but that is part. It's not refugee situation either. That's part and parcel of Europe. Europe as a whole, immigrants coming through all over.
So it's like black is what I would say is they're like black centrist people who are saying that it's not fair and it hinders black football development because you know they try to.
I mean African.
I mean Africa.
Sorry, not black. African football development and such because you know these countries try to get the African immigrants or people who either immigrant or have immigrant parents to change nationalities when they are playing in leagues them also. And I convince them and now give them the chance for, you know, go play for like African country.
I don't think France or any other European country have to do much convincing where that is concerned.
True.
Look, Pogba
Pogba
was never going to play for having an opportunity to play for France. And that is just the truth. Pogba's personality alone tells you that he's not going to do that. And the same thing for Kante. Kante is such a demure individual. Trust me, he wants to keep things simple. In Barna, France, grew up in France, he's not going to, venture out of France, So they don't have to do anything to convince them. I think it's just a part of the
whole immigration.
Yeah, it's just a part of the globalization. The world is getting smaller, and so you're gonna see these things happening.
Yeah,
it's not like them go Africa and say, "Oh, you know what? Come play for me." That kind of come live here and go. No, them don't do that.
Right.
Sorry, Alton.
Yeah, because we now think about the fact say, they're citizens of these countries, Then would have to change citizenship to the other country in order to represent them. And,
that too.
And that I go throw off them whole thing altogether. Because they live in Europe, they play football in Europe, and then they already have built a life and family and whatever in a France.
There you go.
I've uprooted all that for Africa.
Friends on my side, so you don't know me disagree with these people, but I feel like it has to be like I get
the sentiment.
I get the sentiment, because if let's say a few of these players, just like Jamaica, like a small country like we have people who and cause one national team, Chris, is 24 man at best, right? At any given top form competition, whatever, 24 man at best. When you look on a country like France or in any one of them top 5 league there, when you look on a country, them can probably build 5-6 national team with baller, you know what I'm saying? So if more players took a decision and say, yo, now I'll go and play for one of these small heritage.
That is what the player them should do.
That's what they should. So I'm saying.
That's what the players should do.
I know, but it would help to increase global competitiveness in football and give everybody a chance.
Yeah, ideally, but as I say, it comes down to the personal. Yeah, I think about people for uproot them whole family and everything that they know.
It depends.
They've not been to grow up in another them country here.
Exactly.
And the whole politics within those countries. A lot of times people with money, when them go to mafia have security 24/7, them can't walk the streets because people want to kidnap them.
Mm-hmm.
All these things you have to kind of battle with. If it was a case where just a little easy place, sovereign place where them can go, put them family, I could understand it a little bit more, but there's a lot of geopolitics when it comes on to going to these African countries and corruption and kidnapping and deaths and stuff like that. I don't think them have to consider.
And also that let's just understand that, especially Africa, Jamaica might have a problem, but Africa is not short of footballers.
True.
What they are short of is the resources to make these footballers better. True. And so, it's about these countries and also the geopolitics as Alton mentioned, to make these countries more
economically viable
exactly, so that they can take care of all these things in the country.
And for different reasons, they're not gonna allow that to happen. So
exactly.
Yeah,
that's another topic.
Yeah, whole discussion there.
Exactly.
All right. Let's close the show with this topic then, and let's see how best we can deal with it. Moving on. But good points all around, and I get where I come from. It's a sentiment what people share, and when we see people talk, me no business, because I'm a side win. But at the end of the day, you know, we try to hear what people are saying. As Tony said, we get the sentiment, especially like with that whole competitiveness around the world and then something they are, but you don't know. Lastly, this is something I feel passionate personally about, where I think isn't the case anymore, but only can tell. Transfers. Like, I don't know about an ex-man, but remember when you used to play a side, you was a big side, used to book a baller. Like you play a mid-level side in our next league, either in a Champions League, Europa League, or you play a mid-level team in a year league, you know, where just buy a baller from a low division or so where you're scouting them never to a track and you go so boom and you play them in the first league match of the game and the baller kill your side. You see me? Whether them win or not, whether you lost or not, he had a standout performance, absolutely destroyed you. You see what I say? And when you look baller, I talk about him, your owner players, them I talk about him, your coach, when you look next transfer window, you go buy him. One, because not just because he is a good player in the league, but you will look by yourself as a big team and you say, boy, he's shown against you. You get to me, I say, as a big club with a lesser team. Imagine if you didn't have your big team. So you go buy him. More times than not, that usually work out in the long run for both player and team. To me, when I really see that I go on again, I feel like transfers are pushed by the agents, players, and the media nowadays. And yeah, the scouts, they might bring people to whatever, especially like in our bigger clubs, but it's always about like commercialism. If you're gonna sell a whole heap of jersey and them thing there, how much stats you have on goal and this and that. When agent are push what the media say about him, if I England and one English ball and one of the big teams in England, you know the way that I think the whole transfer system has changed for the worst. What you want to think about that? Tony.
These things are always going to evolve, the transfer market. And with in terms of a player is good against you, you buy them. A lot of clubs realize that has not worked out because a man have a good game against it doesn't necessarily mean he's quality. I mean, it worked out for Man U with Cristiano Ronaldo, but a lot of other players didn't really work out with. So
why everybody bring up Christy like another Christian alone?
No, because it's a fabled story about them playing well
That's
against.
That's fine, but it's not Christian alone. Trust me.
No, man, I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying there's been situations where that happened and it never work out. So
more than once.
We're in the age of analytics now, and that is playing a bigger part in people signing players versus the eye test, as we would call it. So them look upon way production, much assist, them look down to the dribble, them thing they might get it very granular, and they're making more statistic-based signings in a lot of cases versus that feel like the player would have fit good in a team, and you're gonna see that increase more across the sports as analytics and statistics gets more involved in it. That's just a natural progression or natural evolution of sports and technology combining together. But I mean, it's difficult to say if it's worse because even some of those situations you find don't work out, but it's difficult to give an overall arching to say if it's better or worse. It works out in some cases, in others it doesn't. Chris?
Well, I think it's roles. I mean, football has become such a organized business now where there are roles are more defined, are becoming more and more defined. So players are not going to concern themselves because I know your point is that players, because we were talking about this before Altony came on, before the show started actually. And you were saying that players used to make recommendations about other players who they are seeing.
Aren't they the real professionals who know?
I don't think the players alone are the ones
alone, but they're good reps. I think, Tony, you as a baller, you don't think you know baller, more than a man.
I think
a baller.
I think as I was saying, roles are more defined now, and there are scouts. Okay. I know that we have a very bad taste in our mouths about scouts as Man U fans. But there are scouts when you talk about Liverpool.
I know.
Liverpool scouting is impeccable. Who is going to if you think about Mane coming in and being what he is now?
I disagree, Walla.
VVD.
No,
exactly.
I disagree.
Same thing with Pep.
With Pep, exactly. City.
I disagree. I think our recruiting from Van Gaal days has been great. I don't think.
Oh, that's what you're talking about.
Yes, I don't think our recruiting has been below City or Liverpool's whatever. As me that tell while before, every big crap a baller. Don't forget that same Southampton side where Mane didn't have. I whole heap of ball in the night where whole heap of side rape and take not say rape. To take from their team. We included got one of the prodigies. At the time, Luke Shaw was the most expensive defender in history when we buy him, So I know that our scouts and whoever's handling our recruiting is not bad. They're not bad. To me, they're on par. I still think, as me that tell Warlock, what failed us this season in particular, can't speak for Mourinho's team and Di Maria's team. I think a lot of personal issues with Van Gaal's team. There are a lot of personal issues in the team with Van Gaal also having personal issues. I don't think that team got a fair shake with Mata and Di Maria and Falco and Rooney. And I think some shit just, like when somebody flings something in one cog, me think something go wrong that year there. But them an asterisk. But in terms of recruitment, baller-wise, I don't think we've been.
Well, I'm not saying that. I wasn't making a commentary on whether or not I agree that we've been bad or good. I was just saying that we have a bad taste in our mouth as it relates to recruiting and signings over the last couple of seasons. So I wasn't trying to make a commentary on whether or not we were good.
You do, because I think they were doing well. So continue.
But the point, I guess what I'm saying here as it relates to the question is that because the roles are so defined, players are more and more increasingly not concerning themselves with recommending players because they know that there's a whole department that takes care of that. And so, that's just how it goes these days. That's how me feel about that. But and look, I still think an influential player might say, I think we should try and get that player.
I'm sure it happens. But we don't want to put too much, as a club, you can't put too much stock into that. Often then they want to sign them friend or they want to sign somebody who they think, but that doesn't necessarily mean because of one player thinks that it might work.
I wouldn't take it from one player still. Would I take it from like the whole team? Like as me I say, like 3-4 baller, including your captain, come to you as a coach and say, boy, yo.
I mean, I would look into it. I wouldn't be opposed to the idea, but
definitely.
Yes, their job, brother, and your job that do mine.
Exactly. I don't think that, and that is why, and Tony is not gonna like hearing this. That is why I didn't appreciate Messi's extra roles in the Barcelona team, because I feel like he had a lot of say as it relates to who comes in, who goes out, who there were arguments being bandied about in papers about how he feels about different players, and that puts a lot of pressure on new players coming in. So
right. I would use the same thing he said about Michael when Michael talked about Dortmund. I mean, we don't know this to be true. Those are just rumors.
No. Listen. We know what was going on at Dortmund.
We do not, Mikey.
True.
If we're going to be consistent with
on paper,
No, we don't know that Bayern and Dortmund, we don't know
We
that they
don't
have
know. Yeah,
agreement.
we
I
know.
don't know that. I don't know that. But I
hold on.
Anthony, I have
We don't
shared
know.
documents. I don't know about the Bayern and Dortmund thing,
Right.
and I have not seen any documentation.
Right.
But I have shared articles.
That's not documents.
It is not document,
I
but
mean,
I have
right
shared.
article.
Fine.
I'm not saying it didn't happen. Like, get me wrong, I'm not saying it didn't happen.
May I understand
However,
what you're saying?
I don't speak about it in absolute because I don't know if it actually happened or not. And if I am to believe that it does happen, every big player in every sport has some amount of pull to who they want to get to the club. I'm sure LeBron James have pull in a Hookama Lakers.
And I'm saying that I'm not saying that you can't make a recommendation, but I'm saying the hands-on, the degree of
that is where we disagree,
don't-
because I'm saying I don't know
appreciate that.
of him having that amount of power. I don't know. I don't have anything to support.
True.
that he
You'd
does.
have to see. You'd have to do it, Tony. You'd have to do it. So you
No,
can't.
but we don't know.
That's
We-
fine.
But
That's
credible journalists, but if credible journalists writes about them things,
no.
that's something that
It's still a rumor.
you can go.
It's still a rumor about how credible them is. It's still a rumor.
Well, I guess you can't say anything about it.
Well, I'm going to ask you, even though the burden of proof falls on, I guess, who is accusing,
Right?
Messi of doing this, right?
Right?
At some point, the burden of proof shifts if you have more than one accusers who are giving accounts of it, but
No.
you don't have people,
It doesn't.
more than one person's denying the
It
same.
doesn't.
Yes,
The
it
burden of
does.
The burden of proof is on the accuser always until you're able to provide evidence.
No,
Hold on. If we're talking about the court of law, the burden of proof on
no,
you.
for sure, we're not talking about.
Hold on. But that's where the idea comes from about the burden of proof. It's illegal.
Yes,
What I'm
but-
saying is I'm not disputing that he has pull, because I believe every top player in every club, in every sport, have a certain amount of
Not
pull.
like you.
What we're debating is to the degree of which where we can't prove that. We have to just accept same of pull and their settings. We all accept that, but to the degree, there's no way to.
So what about when
Alright,
players?
What degree? All right, this is the facts, not the fact, but this is the accusation.
Right?
This man here tell Pep when him no like players. Let Pep know
But
No.
okay. Continue.
No. Let Pep know when players came, if he didn't think they were up to standard or not, and got upset and made strong recommendations, which were more than less heeded by Pep to not play a player in specific games. These are the accusations
I've never heard that.
by multiple persons. What
First
you
heard
didn't
that.
hear? What you didn't
I
hear?
am not sure about Pep, but we know that there are other coaches that
About
were
signing
not as
players.
influential, that are not as influential as Pep, that Messi had a whole lot of sway over.
Who is that? Who is that?
I heard about signings, not about
Wait,
who
what you
plays on a
talking-
particular day.
What
I've-
that coach name again? What the coach name again? That
Tito?
no, the one before Coleman.
Rijkaard? No, run before.
No,
No, not Ran. The one
Coleman?
before Coleman.
No, we are talking. I forget his name.
I forgot what his name
Yeah,
is.
come from another Spanish team. Yeah.
And
Yes.
He's coaching another Spanish
No.
team.
All right, not even the one before the one before that one, because that one
Enrique.
before Coleman.
Enrique.
No, you remember that other?
Tito Villanova?
No, me soon.
Too much.
Yeah, but continue. You know really
But look,
no,
so all right. So the one before Coleman had no power whatsoever.
Right.
Then there was one before him that, even though Barcelona won league titles and so on with him, his power was so diminished over the years. And then, but before that, before that was Enrique, and then before that was Enrique, and before Enrique, because Enrique took over from Pep, I think. Isn't that so? Isn't that the chronology?
No, but talk about the something there, the Pep situation. Pep was like, you can't really use Pep. Pep was a coach where he gave Javi the freedom to play when he wanted to. So
you're saying Pep is up here. So you're saying that. I'm not saying that it's just with Pep in them. I agree. We don't say these stories came out with Koeman, Enrique, and all them people at 2, but I'm saying I am telling you, say from Pep days it a go on.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't use Pep as an
Oh,
example
you're
because
saying that he's
he
The
gave.
coach I was trying to remember was Valverde.
Okay, yeah,
Ernesto Valverde.
he gave the players anonymity or whatever the word is we want to pronounce. Him give them the power to play when they want, take a lot of input from them and stuff like that. Certain players in the team.
So you're saying that Pep was that type of player who
Right. These are reports that came directly from that he gave them the opportunity to play when they want to play.
Well, just like how the first year hear about this from them time there.
No, and if you know Pep and the power Pep have in Barcelona,
Exactly.
it's hard to believe that would be the case.
I think Pep.
Pep was a club legend before, brother. Before he went to play.
I think there's one player. I think there was one player, two players that feels slighted by Pep. And they have said it.
Right.
Zlatan Ibrahimovic is one,
Right.
and Ronaldinho is the next one. I have seen where they have talked about stuff like that.
Yeah, Toure was one.
Toure was another
and
one.
Ronaldinho
Yes.
is my favorite player of all time, but he deserved what Pep did.
We're not even talking about that, but we're talking about what I heard from them time up until from when Koeman and them man there in the ship say Messi have all this talk over, but
Why would all right. Let's take it off Messi.
But who for bench and them things.
Hold on, let's take it off Messi. Let's take it off Messi for a second.
Mm-hmm.
I've played some semi-professional football and some semi-professional sports. Every in a different
Professional.
Basketball, we play some organized basketball.
What a top athlete.
No man, I'm saying every star player has some amount of input to the coach about who he thinks needs. Well, it wouldn't be signing in those situations, but play. I'm saying, and that's your personal opinion because you have a bias. I am saying, I know that. Hold on, I know that Ronaldo.
Let him finish.
I know Ronaldo has pull in every club that he goes. He's the biggest player in every club that he goes, and in any sport, let's be rational. Any biggest in any sport, go to a club, you're gonna have pull. You're gonna be able to say, yo, we think that oftentimes I'm running by you if you have chemistry or bad blood with this player. Because if put it this way, if you're the coach of a team or the manager or scouting, and your best player has a off the ball in field or whatever issue with another player, they might have a literal fight or whatever the case might be. Why would it be wise for you to implement this person into your team? It's like a work. If you work chemistry between people who are working in a certain environment is very important. Even if somebody is skilled at their job, you don't bring them in if you know they're going to match the dynamic of a team that you have going. So I don't think it's wild for a player to have some more of input. As I'm saying, the level of him for bench or if him come up on the field, coach if come off. I mean, I've never seen it.
You never hear about that.
First I hear it, I've never seen it, and I don't believe it.
You don't believe it?
No.
Fine. That's fine. All right. Believe
transfer is a different matter. Be like say yo them talk when a transfer time or they come team and say yo, we think about a player. You have to be for him or we think him can bring to the team. Cause at the end of the day, them man they on the field a player, brother. Them know who and them know the player them a play against them know the qualities that them have. So we never issue with players in general having that amount of say. But it comes down to where the line is, and the line is different for each club and each player.
Chris, anything to close?
Oh, well, I think I've said that as much as I want to say about that. I mean, I think roles have been more clearly defined over the years, and so players don't feel the need to take. I mean, on a regular basis, normally, players don't feel the need to take any big role in doing anything about recommending players and stuff like that. So that's how I feel about that.
All right. In closing, I'm glad me enlighten Tony about Messi badly from them time there. So him know say it's not such a sin.
That's for sure.
And I hope that you can go and do your own research and find out the stuff that's there, the damning evidence that he was pulling the strings like
that
spread the propaganda.
You get the extra medal in.
Go.
Win.
Go on.
If a manager and play at the same time.
He should get a what? He should get a
You
what?
get even more credit or extra medal.
He should get. Really, you want Messi to get more money than he has?
No, I said an extra medal.
Wow. Oh.
Medal,
Okay.
medal.
Because propaganda on the ball.
I don't
Medal,
know how much
coaching
more
medal and a
bankrupt.
player medal.
I don't know how much bankrupt you want the man bankrupt Barcelona than him bankrupt.
Brother,
That's not his fault, sir. We'll go play that.
hey, listen.
Mikey,
Better head down the show so that we can.
last question, Mikey. Last question. You think Messi cost Barcelona more money than he's made them in his time there?
More money than he's made them.
Yes.
Can you tell me real quick?
No, I'm asking you a question. Do you think?
You can't just tell me in money when I don't know what his contract was like. I just know Christie's. I didn't
So
know.
you know all about all the rumors, but you don't know the contract or public information. You know rumors. You know rumors, but you don't know public
Probably
information.
not.
All right.
No, he
All
did.
right.
He did not.
Conveniently.
Wait a second, here.
Audience is
What
trying
up,
to
wait,
take
right? Quick, real quick.
Yes,
Wait,
wait.
right? Wait.
Yes.
In terms of what they've paid him, he's made
Yes.
them more money. Yes, he's
Okay,
made them more
okay,
money. He's
okay.
made them more money.
Okay.
He's made them more money.
Yes,
Way
clearly not
more.
made them enough.
Way more money.
Clearly not made them enough. Because
Them
them still.
them spend it bad.
Clearly not.
Yeah, I believe in that. I ain't gonna spend the money.
Fair enough. We can revisit Barca's recent. We can visit Barca's recent transfer happenings and delve more deeper into that in another show probably next week, and really see if
If we can maintain
compared
second
to
place.
wages and whatever.
Hopefully, we can maintain second place.
Hopefully. And next week, hopefully, we have a Barca topic to talk about. But let's see the results of next weekend as well. Guys, thanks you again for joining us on FloodLights. Big thanks again to Warlock and Tony. Things said, getting through more and more episodes, and we appreciate it. Like, share, and subscribe. Things said to View from the Treez Network, and we'll see you again next week. Peace.
Sixth place is real.
See you.